G'day everyone, hope you're well. Today we're going to be working on what I think is a 2014. I'm not sure of the year, I'll double check that and put it in the title. 2014 Mitsubishi Lancer Rally Art. The young bloke just bought one. So today there's 3 jobs I've got to tackle. First job I think we're going to do first is the belt tensioner. You have to remove the driver's side engine mount, the top engine mount anyway. And I'll show you how to do that. I've never done it before, but we'll go through it. I'm sure we'll do something. Next job after that is an O2 sensor, pre-cat O2 sensor. And just the last job is just a normal service item. It's just oil change and filter and that. They'll all be separate videos. I'm not going to make one big long video. So like I said, this video is going to be changing the drive belt tensioner. So we'll go out to the car and I'll show you what I've done. Alright, this is what I've done under the car. So you've got to support the engine because we're going to take the engine mount off. Car's on stands, as you can see. And I'll show you what we've got to do up the top. So the engine mount, I'll try and get a light down here, but okay, hang on. So there's the engine mount. So I'm going to move that. It's some sort of resistor or something. I don't know what it is, so I'm going to remove that. But other than that, it looks like a couple of bolts down there, probably 3 by the look of it, and it looks like there's only one up here, 1 or 2. I'd say there's probably 2 here, but anyway, we'll get started on that. First will be like a 10mm bolt, so I'm just going to set the camera up and we'll get moving. Okay, we're going to take this resistor out. Probably don't need that light, but take this off. I don't think I really need that light, and I don't think it's sort of helping the filming much, so we'll just set it up here. Like I said, I've never done this before, so we're all going to learn as we go. Hopefully we'll create a mess as we go. Alright, that's one. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why don't you use power tools? But I'm old fashioned. It's pretty easy to snap bolts, and I like to be able to feel the resistance on the bolt, which probably doesn't make any sense to a lot of you, but it does to me. Now I want to unplug this. There you go. So I'll just get that out of the way. So what we got, there's only one bolt here, but it's these 3 over in the back that I'm going to attack first, I think. I'm pretty sure there's 3. I don't know what size. I'll tell you in a minute. Those ones I just took off a 10mm. These are a lot bigger. No, it's bigger than that. Looks like 17mm. Anyway, the first bolt is 17mm. Rattle gun time. That's the bolt. Alright, I'm going to have to go and get another socket because you need a deep socket for these. They are 17mm as well. So I'm just going to go and get a deep socket. Okay, I got a 17mm deep socket. I'm just going to remove these other two. No, that was dumb. Where do I put the extension? I'm using a rattle gun because just the extension alone wasn't long enough. Alright. So that's what they are, they're just a nut. So I'm going to have to lift this engine mount up. I'm just going to loosen this last one. There you go. So as you saw, I've already got the jack under the engine. And I don't think that this bolt here, there's one more bolt, but it's going to be like a, it may be a 15. Let's see how good my judgment is. I reckon it might be a 13. I hope it's not a 14. Bloody is too. I'm going to try an imperial socket. Alright, I've got a 1/2 inch. But if you've got 14mm, that's what it is. But I'm just going to use a 1/2 inch for now, which does the job. Okay. That's it there. Now I will try to remove, if I can, there's another bolt somewhere. Yes. Well, that's not good. There are bolts everywhere for one bloody engine mount. It looks like there are more. And of course I can't get to them because everything's in the way. Alright, I might be able to get that one. So the engine mount at the moment is actually disconnected from the engine itself. I've got to go and get another extension anyway, so I think I shall be back in a minute instead of mucking around. Okay, I've got a longer extension. As soon as I get myself sorted here, I'm still going to use the 1/2 inch socket because I believe that they will be the same as that bolt I just pulled out, which they are. But a 1/2 inch should do it. I think I'll use the ratchet, not the rattle gun. That's it. And I'm only doing that just because this is an imperial socket and I want to strip the head of the bolt. Probably been a bit overcautious, but you know, you blokes do whatever you want. I've had to do a similar job before on a car, but I just can't remember which car it was. It is the same bolt, so there's 3 that actually bolt to the body of the car. And they are the 1/2 inch ones, or 14mm. And the other 17mm ones bolt to the engine. Easy way to remember it. So I'm just undoing the last one now, and I think, yeah, I'm going to try, maybe, I've got to suss it out, because as you saw, I've got a block of wood. You never put the jack straight on the stump, you put a block of wood on there, spread the load a bit, but I might try and jack this up a bit when I get this engine mount out, or before I get the engine mount out. I'll see how I go, because I guarantee you there's going to be something else. There is too. Oh, I don't believe it. What else could be on here? It's actually loose, sort of. I think, I don't know how this coolant bottle is held in. It's on some sort of bracket. It looks like it may pull out, yes. Very good. Should have done that before. It feels like there is another bolt. Alright, I found it. I'll show you. It's right in front of me. That bolt there for the air conditioning pipe bracket. That's all it is. Told you we were going to learn shit, didn't I? Learn things, I shouldn't swear. So I'm going to, let's guess, 12, no, 13. 12. Tried 12, sorry that wasn't 12, I tried, it was a 10. It's 12 mil. Most of the time this is what you find when you're working on cars. It's never as easy as you think. But yeah, like I was saying, I have done this very similar thing before on another car, but I just can't remember. It could have been an Astra. That's the only other thing I've really worked on, so it probably was an Astra. That's what I'm going to say anyway. The trouble with east-west motors, yeah, if you've got to do anything on this side of the engine, it gets a bit difficult. Okay, that feels a little bit better. So I now have an earth wire, would you believe, that I've got to take off. Not a biggie. I'll tell you, because I work on Commodores, see this, there's an earth wire here that I'm undoing, and you would be surprised at how many people forget to put them back on, then they have dramas. I saw one video where these people couldn't work out why their car was misfiring. And it turned out one bank of fuel injectors weren't firing because they'd done something on the gearbox and didn't put the earth wire back on the back. That's all it was. Okay. So I'm trying to remove this engine mount, but it's managing to get caught on everything on the way up. Okay. This is tight, eh? This is so tight. It's caught on everything. Okay, if you want to have a look, there's the engine mount. I'll give you a tip to make it easier that I've just realised is that take your reservoir bottle bracket out. That's 2 bolts. Of course I'm not going to bother. Don't be silly, I'm not going to bother with that. Now, I'm looking at this. I may have gone about this the wrong way because I don't really know where the tensioner is. I'm just going to suss this out. Just give me a minute. Okay, I've just done a bit of research. So I thought that it was the top pulley that I was doing, and it's this one here, the middle one. It's got a 14mm bolt on it. You can see I've got the spanner hanging off it now. So what I'm going to do now, if I can manage to get this light to stay on, I'm going to go under the car and take the belt off. I'm just trying to move the camera so you can see. I don't think there's any real good way to see this, but anyway, I'm just taking the drive belt off. As it turns out, it may be unnecessary to remove this top engine mount. Let me have a look.
I just gave the light a better angle.
Yeah, I reckon it may have made it easier, but I don't think. I'm guessing it may not be really necessary to remove that. You'll have to move the light, mate, because yeah, sorry, there's not going to be much light here, but we're just taking the belt off. Trying to get it out from around that. There is no room in these things, I'll tell you. I think I'm going out through the bottom. Anyway, I'm going to go out through the bottom, see how I go. The belt actually would probably be good for a spare. Right, there is absolutely no room here. Righto. Stuck on the alternator pulley. Okay. Now I can have a better look.
There is absolutely no lighting in this thing.
Alright, so the belt's off. I'm going to take you underneath the car and show you, because I reckon you can do it without removing the... Like I said, I've never done this before, but I'll try and stick you to the sump.
Holy shit.
So I'm going to show you where it is. Right there. That's it there. There's 2 bolts at the bottom. No need to remove the engine mount, although it might have made things easier. But I reckon you can easily do it without it. So, you know, there's no need to do something if you don't have to do it. I'm just going to try and work out where the bolts are. There should be 2 bolts. I think That's for the timing case, that one. Yeah. It's hard. It's so hard, eh? I reckon I'm going to take this pulley off at the bottom and we'll see how we go. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to remove this and get it out the way. I'll probably hit the camera now, but... Okay, that makes it a bit easier. Alright, little band, watch out. Righto. Let's see what they are. Alright, so I just got to figure out what size these bolts are. Watch out, Bandy. Bandy, get the other way, come on. Bandit!
Are you taking advantage?
I think he is. Alright, so these are 12mm bolts up there. I'm just going to get a little extension. If my little dog will let me, which he says no. Righto. So I don't know how I'm going to get the other one. No. I can probably get that one. Not the other one. No. Okay, I've got to work out another way. Give me a minute. Alright, I had to go and get a 12mm socket that's going to do this, so we'll have another go. There's one bolt on top and one under. Alright. Sandy! Hang on, I've got to get rid of me dog. Okay, so I've decided, I've made an executive decision that I'm going to try and take this off because I need to get access to the top bolt. Like I said, I don't, if you can get it from the side or like from underneath, good luck to you, but I'm glad see, we're changing the dry belt anyway, but I'm really glad I took the engine mount off. I know you watch videos and they don't, and if you've got the right tools you might have more luck than what I'm having. But you can probably see that now. So I'm trying to get a socket, but I've just tried to undo the bottom one and it just doesn't feel really good to me. Like there's going to be a bit of a disaster, you know. So I've got the old Tool Pro, but I don't know. It's just everything, it doesn't sort of go on, see, because of the... Alright, another executive decision. I'm gonna try and take off. There should be a reverse thread, and I'm gonna try and get this off if I can. Nah. How did I know that? I'm gonna go and get another spanner. I'm sorry about all the stop starting on this video. Like I said, I've never done it. I want to take the pulley off the tensioner down there, because otherwise I'm trying to undo this bolt on an angle. Alright, been a lot of mucking around. I've got the 2 bolts loose for the thing, but for the tensioner. But what I'm going to do is, it's so hard to get to this top bolt. I got the bottom bolt out because I lowered the engine down, but even that was very difficult to get anything in there. So I'm just going to take the bottom piece of this engine mount off the block, and it'll give me more room on the top bolt. So I'm not going to film that. I'm just going to come back. It's like 3 or 4 bolts underneath. 3 bolts, I think, in that top one that I loosened before. But yeah, this is what I'm taking off, that thing with the 2 bolts sticking up. We'll come back when I've done it. Okay, still trying to work out how to get these bolts out. So what I've done is one up the top here, which is very difficult to reach. I'm just going to see if I can get this in. But and I just felt it, and you think I can do it now? No. And I think it looks like it's in there. Okay. Right, it's right in here, just where my hand is. I know you can't see, but it's just in here. Mate, if you can get them off through the bottom, good luck to you, but I'm glad I took the engine mount off. So, alright, so that's down a bit further than what I thought, and I can't get this socket on it. I don't think. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's very, very difficult. I might see if I can jack the engine up. I've already jacked it up a bit. I'm just going to see if I can go a bit more. Alright, that's about as far as I'm going to go. So I can feel it, but every time I try and get a socket on, no way. So, just bear with me. I'm just trying to find the right tool to do it. Takes that long. Alright, bit of an update. Got the top of the engine mount off, so now I'm just removing that bolt, but I'm not going to film it because it's just slow going to get it out, but it's given me a lot more access, and I've got the engine jacked up. That's about the only way I can do it. If you can do it and you find an easier way, good luck to you. Righto, finally off, and once it's off, and I'm looking at the new one, and we have discovered the reason I couldn't get the bolts out is because you're supposed to put a bloody, I don't think you need the light, you're supposed to put a pin in here. That's why I should have watched the video before I made my video, but that's what you do. So before you take your old one out, you need some sort of pin. I don't know where you get the pin from, because that means you'd have to take it out of this and then you'd never get it back in. So I don't really know, but that's what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to bolt this one in now, or I'm going to weld it in, one of the two. And no, I'm going to bolt it in. So we're going to lower this down in here now. Now I've got to remember where it went. I can see 1, 2. So there, yeah, I can see it. Mongrel bloody thing. Alright, I'm going to put a light. So there's the top one. Top bolt, bottom bolt. I've got the top bolt here. So I think it goes that way with the pin on top. That's the bolt. Is it? No, that's the bolt. 12 mil. I've got to find the bottom one. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it goes this way. Well, I'll trial fit it. Yeah, it goes this way. Oh no, no, maybe not. Because I don't know how I'm going to get that bolt out. No, it must go the other way. It must go. This is not good.
The teeth were the other way.
Which way? That way?
I got it right the first one. Yeah, that way.
Well, why won't it fit? Look. There's something wrong here. So it goes. You reckon it goes like that? That doesn't look right to me. No, that's not right. It goes here. No. Hang on. Not bad, I just took it out and I forgot how it goes. See how that's reset there? But that's flat. Hang on. One way to tell, because no, that bolt hole's too big, so it doesn't go there. So it's got to go here. This is it here. So it goes there. But does it go that way or?
No, the other way, because I had the teeth facing the other way. Pretty sure.
No, I don't think that's right. It goes up.
Yeah, it goes up in the up bolt.
You reckon that's right?
Yeah. Yeah, because as I was pulling the pulley that way, the teeth were coming up.
Alright. That leaves a gap. That actually leaves a gap. That doesn't sound right. Nah, that's not right. No. I don't reckon that's right, mate.
Like that. It's got
Yeah, well, it doesn't go the other way, so it has to. That doesn't look right.
Could be that bottom hole, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I know, but see that? That leaves a gap. You wouldn't be tightening a bolt up.
That's what I'm saying, wouldn't it be further down? Like they've got more bolts further down.
Hang on, we've got to work this out.
Further.
Alright, sorry, we've gone a bit stupid. I know where it goes.
Hopefully this
You'll
is
have to
enough for
probably-
it, right?
Hang on. No, get that light out from here. Get the other way. I've got to try and wriggle this down. Actually, I shouldn't have put that in there. I don't think this camera is going to be mounted because I can't.
Yeah, but don't worry about that.
It's got to go right down underneath. See down here? Right down there.
Did you come out of the right hand side here?
Hang on. It's got to go like that. Yeah, I can see how it goes, but getting it in there because it's got this pin in it. I came out the front, so it might. There. Alright. We're getting somewhere. I can't see a thing. It's not your fault, mate. It's just where it is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get
Yeah,
as much light as possible.
It is in a mongrel of a spot. Well, I've got it now. I just started the first bolt. I've got to find the other bolt. I don't know what I did with it.
It's got to be up there with all the others.
Alright, so there's the first one. I've got to put the bottom one in as soon as I find it. And I can't see it. Might be, no. Anyway, let me have a look.
Is that it there?
Down the bottom, yeah.
Dad, right there next to your gun. Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to just put the bottom one in hand tight, if I can. Again, can't see a thing. And then we're gonna...
I think you had to drop the engine, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I just want to get it started. I should be able to get it started, but it's not lined up. No. Aha. There it is.
You found it?
Yeah. Alright, that one started. And the top one started. Alright. Yeah, so what I did is because I've got the engine mount out, I've been raising and lowering the engine. So I'm going to do this top one up first because I've got the engine jacked up. But I'm not going to film that because it takes me that long to do it. And we'll come back when I've got both these bolts done and we'll start putting the pulleys back on. Alright, let's try and put this bracket in. I'll probably have to move this camera. Just bear with me. I think so I think there's one 12mm and the other three are 14, I think. 14. Pretty sure they're 14. This one goes on top. Just got all these in finger tight. There's no need for me to be filming bolts getting done up. One more. Actually, I think there's two more. There is. So there's 1, 2, 3. Hang on. Well, that one goes in there. That one goes in there and the other one goes on top, I think. But anyway, should be one more. No. Let me check. I've got to go over what I've done. So there's one in here. One there. Righto. I think there's more than that. There's a 12mm, 14, 14. And I was pretty sure there was another 14 up here, but there's only one 14 at the top, so that looks like it. Alright, 3 14s and the 12. Anyway, we'll come back when I've got it on. Right, it turns out I have got all the pulleys. I think I'm going to lose the battery on this GoPro, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the engine mount bracket back in here and go and put some charge in this GoPro. Okay, I'm sorry for this was a bit of a shambles this video, but like I said, I've never done it, so it's all learning. So I'll put the tension pulley on, top and bottom bolt, and I'll put the bottom pulley back on. There's a pulley underneath down there. Put that on. I'm going to put these two top pulleys back on, I think, and then I've got to put the engine mount bracket back on. But I know that they show you in other videos you can do this without taking this engine mount off, but it's really made it easier for me to be able to jack this engine up and down. So like I said, you've got to make your own choice, so you do whatever's easiest for you, but this seems to work for me. My biggest drama was that pin. If I'd have known to put a pin in that, or a bolt or something, it would have made it a lot easier. But anyway, I think I can probably take that out now, so we might do that on camera. Bear with me, because very, very hard to get any light, and then even harder to set this camera up because there's really nowhere. I hope you can see it. I've got to try and pull this pin out here, but I've got to get the 14mm ring spanner, which I have here somewhere, and just relieve the pressure off it first. And I don't know if I can get to it without blocking your view. I'll try. What I'm going to do, you'll see the engine go. I'm going to jack the engine up. Alright, that's about as far as you go with this thing. So I've just got to move it. Hang on. I'm going to get down behind it. Oh, jeez, that hurt. There's the pin. Ah, that fucking smacked me in the
hand.
Sorry about that. It smacked me in the finger. Yeah. So, like I said, so the next step, the top pulley is smooth. I'm going to put the middle one in. I can remember what I did with it. I just got to find that. Where's that middle pulley? Should be a grooved pulley somewhere.
There's a pulley up here.
I don't know if I've got these right.
Have you got a pulley in here?
No, there's a smooth one. I thought there was a grooved one somewhere. Righto, I've got to go looking. I'm missing one. Back in a sec. So we're up to the last pulley. Oh, there goes the camera. Bloody thing. Tell ya, you get sick of filming sometimes. Yeah, I don't know if the camera's going to stay there. But this is the last pulley. Then we'll probably put the belt on. Like I said before, you could probably do it without taking the engine mount off, and you might get it out from the bottom there, but it really has helped me to be able to jack this engine up and down. So, but rule of thumb with any east-west engine, get everything out of the way. So I shouldn't have left that bracket on. And then I removed most of the engine mount and left the worst part on there. So Alright, just tighten this one up. Okay. Alright, so time for a belt. Which isn't going to be easy either. Anyway, I'll put the diagram for the belt up on the video. I'll put a picture up for you. But I'm just going to whack this on because the camera's going to be in the way, so I can't really film it. Alright, so we got the belt on. Like I said, I'll put the diagram up because it was a bit of mucking around, but it's on. So what I've got to do now is put this engine mount back on there. So I've got the engine actually jacked up, so it goes this way, and I've got to make sure I get that earth wire in the right spot. So the earth wire has just gone underneath, so let me try and, you can watch me struggle. I'm going to pull that back out of the way. So what I've got to do is get these to sit down over them bolts. But everything's going to get in the way now. So we'll get there. Alright. So I can't, if you have a look there, you'll be able to see the gap. That's how much I've elevated the engine. At the moment I'm going to leave it there because I want to get these top bolts done up. You wouldn't believe how long this has taken. All the stopping and starting of the video, it's taken me ages. Like I said, there'll be an easier way than what I just did it, but every time I work on an east-west engine car, I always get this engine mount out of the way. If you're dealing with pulleys or belts, alternators, at least you can move the engine up and down. But there's a million videos on how to do this, so a lot better than mine. Okay, and that one. Okay. Let's do these top ones. And, well, I remember, that's going to go on. Said, well, I remember there's two of those small bolts here. Why is there two? Oh, yeah. Alright. They go there. Hang on. What have I done? Oh yeah, there's the bolt. Sorry, using the wrong bolt. That's a bit too long. Although, they look the same. Anyway, this is the one that came out of it. This is what's going back in. 10 mil. 10 mil. Where's 10 mil? On walkabout. Mil. Oh, that was brilliant. Righto. That was good. $10 camera's in the way. Alright. Pretty sure these were 17. Alright, I'm just going to rattle them down. No. Okay, let's get these on. Torque down to a very specific setting. That's it. Now you'll just see the engine drop a bit. That's it. I'll put some bolts in them. Just a reverse of what we did before. I've still got the weight of the engine. Yeah, this one's a bit of a pain. Yeah. Oh, yes. Of course. Okay. So it's 3 bolts. Pretty sure they're all 17s. Make sure I get them in straight, because I've still got, like I said, I've still got the weight of the engine on the jack, so I can still move the engine mount around. Alright. They're not. Smaller. Must be 16, are they? No. What were they? What were they? Oh, they're not the 1/2 inch, are they? Half inch, that's not it. Must be 14s. See 13. Oh yeah. So I must have used the 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. That'll do. Don't have a 14. That'd be right. Okay. Must be time to let the engine down, eh? I think. Alright. Righto, what else?
Bottle back.
Yeah, bottle back. And I'll put the earth lead on. Okay, so the bottle goes back. Which way? It goes around this way. It just slides down over the bracket. So that's back in. Now I've got to put this little resistor or whatever it is back in. First I'll plug it in, and then we'll probably test fire. We've got a bolt spare. That's not good. Okay. That's not good. I think. Hang on. Yes. Oh, I know where it comes from. Shit myself then, so I thought I had a spare bolt. But no, I don't. I know where it's from. Put these two 10mm bolts in, and then there's one more bolt left and we're done. I showed you this resistor this morning, so that's why I'm not moving the camera. Oh, 10mm. Where is the 10? 10mm. Thank God that's done.
What a job.
Yeah. Like I said, there'll be an easier way, but taking the engine mount off is not a bad idea either. It might be for you, some of you people, but for me, I'm glad I did it. So, spin that around. Put this back in, it's just off the aircon line bracket. I think that might be it. No. Not a 10. That aircon line bracket, I think it's just a 12. Alright, done. Done and done. Everything back in. Tightened up, torqued to spec. Now, if you want to test fire it. I almost killed myself, but what's that, ½ inch? That's 10. Alright.
Keys on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to start without the keys close to the engine.
Not that close. There she is, all done. So that's the tensioner pulley change. I hope I never have to do that again. We still have to address this O2 sensor, and we were going to do an oil change. We're going to run out of time, I think. So I'm going to go and look at this O2 sensor now. Anyway, please like, share and subscribe. Please give us a like. No one does. Heaps of people bloody watch the video, even though it's a shit video. It still takes an effort to make a shit video. Anyway, see you next time.